Okay, so first question is, as you tell us who you are.
I'm Denise Tucker. Um, I'm a mother, a wife. Uh, I'm a multidimensional human being. That's who I am.
Awesome. So tell us more about what do you do?
I'm actually a holistic health practitioner, an herbalist. I own a juice bar in Augusta, Georgia called Humanitree House.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess that brings me to the next question. What vision do you have for yourself as a woman, and when did you feel like you had a good grasp on that vision?
Oh, my ultimate vision is just to ultimately inspire people to live a better life. No matter what that means, whether it means spiritual, well, period, mostly spiritual, spiritual, physically, what comes in and out of our bodies mentally, what we put into our bodies. I don't think I really had a good grasp on that until I was in my 30s. And that was just looking at the elders in my family and seeing their mental state as well as their physical state started to that's where I started to develop the vision. I think I'm still working on it. Like, it's still a day by day process. It's getting to where I want it to be.
Cool. So what obstacles have you faced and overcome during this journey, and are there any that you feel like you're currently overcoming?
Um, there's always obstacles. I mean, in womanhood, there's going to be obstacles at every journey, at every juncture of your journey. I've overcome so many. I mean, I have adult children, so I've overcome divorce. I've overcome loss, and right now I'm overcoming attachment. As I said before, we have a business in Augusta, and we can become so attached to the things that we do and the things that we think are ours. But those things can slip away at any moment. So I think I'm overcoming attachment, but just as soon as I overcome that obstacle, there's going to be another one waiting. There always is. It's just, there's no growth without them.
So with that being said, how have you managed to overcome those challenges, and how are you managing to overcome that challenge that you have now?
I've managed just by, just to keep moving. A lot of times we get caught up in a storm or a struggle or an obstacle. And if you know anything about obstacle courses, if you want to, put it in that term, if you stop in the middle of it, you're not going to finish. That's anything. If there's a storm outside and you stop in the middle of the storm while you're driving, you're still sitting in the storm and the other cars are on the other side of it. So I've managed to overcome just by continuing to move. And right now, just even in the obstacle that I'm in right now, I just know that I have to keep moving in order to get on the other side of it. It's like there's always something on the other side. So one of the things that my mother used to tell me growing up is everybody is either going into a storm, right in the middle of one, or on the other side. So remembering those things always helped me to know that if I just keep pushing, I'm going to come out.
Nice. So is there anything or anyone in particular that was very special to you that kept you from or kept you moving or assisted in keeping you moving through a lot of those situations?
Yeah, I would say in my younger life, because I had my children very young. I got married the first time very young. So I would say that it was my children ultimately in the earlier years, because I knew, when I looked at them, I knew that I had to come out, for them, so that they could see that it's possible, that it could be done. My balance now, I would say, is my husband, because I'm a little bit more uptight, so when I feel like I can't do it, that's my peace, to say, you got this, you can do anything, you've done this. So I would say between my children and my husband, that's my fuel.
Cool. Cool. Um, what is your overall vision for the future of women as a collective and yourself in that collective?
Unity.
Unity.
As women, and if I could speak more particularly on African American women,
Sure.
or African women in general, we've been taught to divide and to compete, and so there's a lot of disunity. So my grand vision is unity, when we can start to celebrate each other and truly celebrate each other without the discord that happens behind the scenes, because a lot of times you can pretend to celebrate somebody and you really don't mean it. But what I would really like to see is, more sister circles, more collective, more unity, because once we connect as sisters, as women, everything else is going to happen like it's supposed to, because we really are the core. I mean, we give birth to everything. We give birth to anything living. So if we're not right, our community's not right.
Nice. If there was one thing that you could tell a woman of any age that may come to you and say she's looking for inspiration, what would it be?
Find it within. The value, the inspiration, everything you need is inside. It's not outside of yourself. A lot of times we look for, because we're just bombarded with so much. We're bombarded with media. We're bombarded with other women, men, and what we think you guys want. Just any other woman, I would tell them, like I tell my daughter, everything you need is in you already. You don't have to look for that value outside of yourself. And when you realize that, even with affirmation, like just repeating a simple affirmation, when you realize that you have the power, then nothing else really matters. You can do it.
Great. Now, if there were a couple things that you could go back and tell your younger self, what would a couple of those things be?
Shut up. I say that because I have a tendency to overthink and overtalk, and as a young person, that was it. I found myself constantly explaining and to get people to like me. I was an only child. I'm an only child. So if I could tell myself, I could say, yes, of course we need people. We need everybody. But you don't need these people outside of yourself for validation. You are enough. So I guess the answer would be you are enough. My name is Denise Tucker, and I am somebody.
Share something outside of what you said?
Yeah, anything. Do you have anything that you, just because I guess the purpose of this is I wanted to highlight women that I viewed as being very special, but to me haven't been highlighted, and really like here, just we always hear about the things that you do for other people, but a lot of times we don't really get any in depth about how you got to this point or who you are as a person. So if there's anything you like to share about yourself or just anything.
Ooh, that's a hard one, because I'm the introverted one. People don't believe it, but I really am. And this really goes for anybody, really, that oftentimes we can be misread. And I think that it's important that, to not judge people before you get to know them. You can look at a person, and I don't know if everybody's guilty of this. I know that women, as we are, because I'm often misread as aloof and, maybe a little stuck up. And technically it's not any of that. I'm just a little introverted. So I think I have a little tidbit of advice, to us as sisters and as human beings, to tap in first before you pass judgment on someone. Get to know them, because you could be missing out on the next gift in your life.
Yeah, that's somebody, but you way more than just your body. You are somebody, somebody, somebody. And You gotta be somebody, somebody, somebody. Won't settle just to say you got somebody, somebody. And girl, you bad, yeah, that's somebody. But you way more than just your body, yeah.